Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dingle. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to our show. You know, Jason, I got to tell you this. Well, Wanda and I have been married going on 42 years. And, you know, the first 10, 15, 20 years, when it's a person that has a birthday, you can usually find something that warms her heart. Well, a couple of years ago, I was desperate for her birthday. And I was thinking, what can I get her? Well, we had a cold snap like we had the last couple of
and her birthday
weeks.
is when?
In April.
In April. Had
Yes.
a cold snap in April, like we do now.
Well,
I think it's gone to your head.
No. I was thinking, what can I get Wanda? Because at that time she was getting up, going to school, and it was really cold. And so I was talking with one of my neighbors, who happens to own Auto Stylz, Geoff Addleman, and he said, you know, Pat, and this is what saved our marriage. He said, why don't you get her a remote starter? And we just happened to have him in there. And I'll tell you, it was one of the greatest things I've ever had as a gift. It was inexpensive. It was placed on her vehicle, and she has that little button that when it's cold, she just starts it and smiles at me and walks away.
Pat, that's a wonderful gift, but I can't help but thinking that gift was more for you than it was for her. After all, weren't you the one that went out 15 minutes early every day and started her vehicle and made sure it was warm and took care of her before she left?
Wanda, please don't watch this anymore. Geoff saved our marriage. He enhanced our marriage. But more importantly, today's guest is someone that is very, very mechanically inclined and very able to take an automobile and really make it of great value. And it's our pleasure to introduce Geoff Addleman. Geoff is the proprietor, the owner of Auto Stylz LLC. Geoff has been involved in business for 10 years and a heck of a nice guy. That's all I can say. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Geoff, we have a video of some things. Tell us, what is it like to be your own boss, to be an owner?
Well, one thing that I can say, to be your own boss is it's never a dull moment. There's always something new and different every day. It's different challenges, whether it be customers, employees, products. It's just the joy of being able to do something and overcome obstacles and continue and grow and go from there.
Well, Geoff, we know that you're Pat's neighbor, but tell us a little bit more about yourself. What's your background? What led you to get into the auto detailing business?
Well, it's more body shop and then ancillary sales and enhancement. For years, my mother's, I guess a little further back, my mother's second husband had a used car lot, and that was the love from there. And that started the seed. As I went through college locally at Shawnee State University, Portsmouth, Ohio, now, and then went on to Marshall University. I was always buying and selling cars, doing body work and whatnot. Turned out that after that I had a penchant for it. I kept going. Had a few other jobs, stayed for a while, Osco industry being one. Was also in the used and new car market for a while in Huntington, West Virginia.
Hey, you
But-
also had a couple teaching classes at Shawnee.
I did. I was an adjunct faculty member for a while at Shawnee State University, too, just to kind of try and see where I was, my likings were for my career path. But with the inception of Auto Stylz, it was just my background with everything that I have done over the years, and I found out that I can make a profit at it, that I was good at it, and I enjoyed dealing with the public.
So you had four, it's my understanding you've had 4 years with the auto body shop in Huntington.
About that.
And then you decided to open up your own business
Right.
about 10 years ago.
Yes, about 10 years ago was, I believe, started, but the inception of Auto Stylz was in 2005. We incorporated in 2006 in January, and from there I've been steady stream, growing.
And where are you located?
Portsmouth, 1026 Finley in Portsmouth, Ohio.
And tell us some of the different, I know auto body is the main bread and butter.
It is.
But what are some of the things besides remote starting? Saving marriages.
Saving marriages and just warming your heart or keeping you from going out to start your car. Of course, we do a lot of, we do leather kits, body wraps, full vinyl, striping, custom is cruise control, DVD, remote starts, proximity sensors, spray embed proximity sensors. That goes in conjunction with the rear cameras. So the rear view cameras, that's just becoming more and more. You know, obviously everybody's wanting that. It's just a safe way of operation. You can see what's going on as well as the proximity sensors. It beeps and goes off. Allows you to be safer. Chrome kits, wheels, raise and lower, sunroofs. We get heavily with the sunroofs, and that means cutting a hole in a brand new 2015 Cadillac and turning into inboard type factory-looking sunroof. I can pretty much go on and on. You know, we have analysis on hand by a Snap-on scanner, analyzer tool, the latest of that. And
so do you do truck accessories, caps?
I do, sure.
Yeah.
Truck accessories, caps, anything that you could name that would be out there. The newest product that we have that's out there that I got really excited about it is there now a placement. It's a convertible top for the 4-door Jeep and the 2-door Jeep. You hit a button and electrically, you know, goes back and comes up. We do that. I did say leather kits along with that, replacing the vinyl top. So pretty much anything that is custom and out there, we do.
Very interesting. Why don't we take a look at that video, and maybe that'll give us some even more ideas.
Sure.
Luke?
Hi, my name is Geoffrey Addleman. I'm from Portsmouth, Ohio. Well, the body shop industry is in my blood. I've been around the used car business since I was a youngster. Putting cars and myself together is like a duck to water. Very mechanically minded. This marks my 10th year for Auto Stylz, the inception, a little bit before and plus the incorporation, get me to this point. Prior to this, I had a business in Huntington, about 4 years there. So let's give or take a 14 years experience in this industry. You get a personalized service. There's a certain time that all of us like to go in and get that personalized service. When you come in, you want that car delivery. However, that personal touch, when that customer knows that they're getting a good deal, a fair deal, they also realize and feel that someone is taking a personal interest each time they come in. Not just that one time, here's the best price, take it or leave it, with an employee or someone that doesn't know the product, that they're just there to stock, put it out. We know every asset and every aspect of the business, and that's how we try to present ourselves with electronics, whether it be the body shop, all the way down to the detail, just personalized service. Bread and butter is the body shop. We do a lot of insurance works for different insurance companies. From there, it adds to ancillary sales such as rims, truck lifts. We do spray and bed liners. I do window tinting, commercial window tinting, home theater, sunroofs. We install a very high quality sunroof that's inboard. A lot of dealership service, flip down DVD, headrest DVD, leather kits, detailing. Recently we have purchased a snap-on scanner, paid a significant amount just to keep up with the times and stay ahead of the small shops. Sales has always been my forte, as well as the mechanical side, the body shop industry. We do that here as well. I would say I have 5 years under my belt with the electronics industry. We do a lot of dealership services. For the local government, I do that as well. As long as I can remember, for the most part, I've always made my own way. In some fashion, some way, or anything to just get the deal or knock on that door. Cold calling, I've never had a problem with that. For the most part, I think the quality here is very high. The concern is there always to give the best product. Yes, I could work for someone else, but for the most part, I would not. I'd rather go to the beat of my own drum and work as hard as I can and have a thriving business. Starting a similar business of this magnitude in another city would definitely require a lot of capital. Your biggest thing, regardless of money or anything, your biggest asset, and I'm sure it's being taught, is your employees. If you don't have that, that's your first mistake. Secondly, definitely is capital. You definitely have to have experience. You can't just go and ask a dealership to rip a 2015 vehicle apart and put it back together. There may be an error, but the biggest thing that you can combat that, if there is an error, answer it with bells and whistles. You don't put it off. You don't go there and whine and say you didn't tell me. Take care of it. Whatever you have chosen in life, you don't need to do 17 things. Pick a direction. Stay the course. It might not be in this area or that area. Something might fail there, but stay the course of where you're at, what you're doing, and who you are. That ultimately will, I think, add a better life. You'll feel like you're fruitful in the direction and the course that you're taking. If you're happy with what you do for a living, do it. If you aren't, then I get it. That's a time that you need to change venues, reschool, do whatever you need to do. But if it is something that you have chose as a career path and you know you're damn good at it, do it, regardless of what's around you. Work hard at it, it will come.
Very interesting. We saw from the video, though, that you do more than just automotive. You have
I do.
Rentals and
rentals. We do the Hertz rental, of course, that goes hand in hand with the insurance industry or
Sure.
surrounding area. Puts people in cars after they've had an accident, and hopefully they choose our shop. But if they don't, that's fine. We'll hand in hand help them get wherever they may need to be for
you
any
haul
other
as
shop.
well.
And you haul as well. That too is just, I guess, icing on the cake. We do have location, we have the property, so utilizing space and creating income from that.
So what you're possibly saying is, let's just suppose I'm going home and I hit a deer.
Poor deer.
And believe it or not, that'll be my fourth time I've hit a deer.
I understand.
The third time I had to chase him into the field. So I have the option of getting my car repaired. Can I specifically ask you, or does the insurance company, do they have a list? You know what?
Pretty much both. It all goes hand in hand within insurance industries today. As of late, you're allowed to go wherever you want.
Okay.
It's law. They do have a direct repair. They have selected shops. Different insurance industries or companies have picked whatever shop and whatever requirements that they have set. These shops have performed and do. And if so, that can be an easy selection, whereas you come to my shop, if I'm that service or that direct repair, you drop your car off, I put you in a rental, you go on your way. You don't have to bother with signing nothing. It's just auto pay for myself. You get a nice clean car to drive around in, and then hopefully at the end of the term, when everything's repaired, you get a nice clean car, yours, to leave in after it's all over. And that's it.
So if I were to bend the frame, you would be able to fix that?
Essentially, you can fix just about anything, but there is a point. There is total loss valuation, whatever company, there's a threshold. Once you cross that point, then it would definitely go into a total loss, and then there's a lot of decisions from owner to the insurance company to make, and what the payout would be. I don't get involved in that after that, after I've deemed it a loss.
Okay, all right. So it really comes up to the insurance company then first determining if it has enough value to...
Well, that's all pretty much in programming now. With all of us have at least a good standardized shop that's a network system. They have programming that allows and sets value, and once it goes below a threshold, a lot of paperwork, you document more just the condition of the vehicle, and then that gets up to whatever insurance company I'm dealing with, and then they determine what type of value they may or may not offer.
That's when they send out an adjuster to make sure that...
Well, to an extent, yes. Yeah. If you're select, no. If you're not, then yes, that adjuster is coming.
Okay, all right. So now that my car is repaired, I sort of look around. What are some, like, remote starts?
As far as remote starts, we do quite a few, especially in the winter. That's a big push for us. We do a lot of stereo, but right now I would say more so than not for the electronics department, it's remote starts, stereos. You know, it's tax time. People like the goodies. But with the cold weather, it's just an easy sale.
So you have a lot of different products and services that you offer. How many different employees do you have?
For, I guess, different sections, a total of 8, not including myself, and I go as high as 13 depending on demand and how I have to hire. In the departments with the ancillary sales, then electronics, tint 3, Hertz, then U-Haul, and then of course last but the biggest, the body shop, and mechanic out of there. So no jack of all trades myself, just in the auto industry.
Yeah, that's a lot of specialized areas.
It is, but I have found that I've had a knack for it, continue to grow, and like what I do.
I had a chance to look at your paint room, where you totally refurbish a car's paint. And are there special rules, regulations for auto shops?
Oh yes, you have to be EPA ruling. You can only spray so many if you go over that per month, or however they set. Yeah, you have to have a special permit on top of that.
Is it because of the air? Or?
It is. You know, without, you have to have, we're regulated to change our filters per basis or keep record of that, and I do it often enough to keep things nice and clean. And also, honestly, it's not just for the EPA's part or keeping clean filters, but it keeps a nice clean paint job. You know, keep things flowing nicely.
I noticed that the place where you do the painting, the place where you do the painting, etc., is pretty much in. You know, and I noticed in the video you had a lot of paint, different kinds of paint.
I do.
And is that snap-on where it allows you to match the
no, that's offered by PPG, and that's everything from, I do everything from acrylic enamel to urethane to base coat, clear coat urethane, and I'm getting ready to get the, get the new water-based system from PPG. I do have a computer that is able, it's a camera set it on the substrate and scan for a type of collar it is, and does its thing, takes 5 samples. And, you know, the best scenario, you hopefully get that best match, but it too is a machine. And the new standards of collars with tri-coats and candies, it is quite difficult still yet.
That's interesting. So any other, you have mentioned also rims.
Yes, we do rims, lifts. We'll slam it to the ground, raise it to the roof, whatever you like.
And at one time you were fixing up a helicopter.
Yes, but that had to go away due to fixing a roof.
Yeah.
I don't like leaks.
I thought that was neat how you had that sort of, you know, it was sort of a hobby for you.
So do you fly?
I do not. Would I have? Of course. You know, at least try. But I would have done it the right way. But yes, I would have had it finished out, but had to go another direction, of course.
So Geoff, being a businessman, you know, first of all, you've had a lot of educational parts. You have had a strong educational background, and you've had the opportunity to teach.
I have. Business
Planning and business management to young students, and you've operated. What are some suggestions? You know, if you had a group of students here who was looking for some advice, what are some things you would
I guess the advice that I would give anybody as they kind of go through life, you really do have to do what you like best. You have to try a lot of different venues to see. You have to try, especially when you're young. When you get a little older, you should have your stuff together by now. But if not, it takes some time to figure out what direction and course of life you want to take. That said, that's what I was doing. A few different areas. The adjunct teaching that I had done at Shawnee State was different. It was fun, but it just wasn't my forte.
Sure. And you know, in running the business, what's the key elements that have made you successful?
Oh my goodness! I think a little bit of being Ann Landers, just problem solving. Ann Landers, of course, is employee related mostly, but just overcoming problems every day. You're not a floor mat or a doormat, as they say, where people just dump the problems and no matter what, you're a yes man. But just fixing the problems accordingly if they do arise. Realize that these are real people, that they do have real concerns if there is an issue, and they're not there just to waste your time for the most part. That may happen, but if that happens, look into it, fix it accordingly.
Thinking back, 10 years when you first started, for a lot of the individuals that are thinking about owning their own business or starting their own business, what were some of the surprises that you got along the way that you really didn't anticipate going into opening a business?
Opening a business and surprises, it's just capital. And I guess it's...
You mean you didn't start with a lot of grants?
No. And then it's capital again, and probably capital.
Did you ever find grants?
No, I've done this. Actually, I started with a little bit of tools and $1,000, and a lot of hard work. And I was that guy coming out of divorced and mother's basement, so to speak. But I'm here and back.
I think that's a misconception a lot of people have. They're going to go into business, they're going to build the new building, and they're going to buy all the new equipment, and they're going to start with the very best.
No, that absolutely doesn't happen. There's a lot of, you got to have some real thick skin, because there's going to be a lot of no's. It just happens, and if you get yourself in a spot to where that first no is put you down, this might not be the right business or having a business, because that happens often in any business.
How much did customer service go into running your business and operating your business?
That's the biggest thing I worry about if I'm not able to help or bring that customer to satisfaction upon delivering a car. So a tad bit of micromanaging due to 8 to 13 employees, but it's served me well. I have considered and I want to continue to grow and have a couple of other stores, that too in time. But my thought is either have a heart attack or how will I keep things nice and clean for that first customer experience when they come through the door. Are they greeted well? Are they taken care of? Do they feel like they have a fair deal? You as yourself, when you go to another business or out to eat, you realize when you sit down, you want service, you want quality, but you know that proprietor, whomever they may be, needs to make a profit because these lights, cameras, everything,
Right.
it won't keep going in unless that happens.
I know one of the things we talk about in organizational behavior classes is how do we get our employees to have that same value set that the owners have? You know, how do we instill in them the desire to make sure that they're taking care of the customer?
Part of that's monetary. It can happen with bonuses, but that's the most difficult thing. You can't imbue that in someone. They won't just all of a sudden think of your business like theirs. If you give them some sense of responsibility, bring service to them. If there is an issue, make sure they come with you. Here's some of the problem, not for a reprimand, but
Right.
This is the issue. This is what I'm having a problem with because Mr. Customer John Smith is here stating that he doesn't like this. We need to fix this. You missed it. Please, let's continue to do better and not miss these things. But it's just a sense of being a part of it as well.
I think you also probably spend a lot of time rewarding your employees when they do a good job.
I do. When they do do a good job, the best thing, or what I believe anyways, is you let them know that when that customer's happy, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with them.
Right,
And
absolutely.
not only share the bad times, but share the good times too.
That is so true.
Yes.
People do work for money, but not only for money.
Well, we're all human.
Right.
Without that,
right.
acknowledgement, we sit down, we eat, but
Yep.
we need to know that there's emotions behind the things that they do. There might be a bad day. That's
Right.
where the inlanders come in. You have to understand and deal with it accordingly. It's just not a set motion machine.
Right. We have only a few more minutes, and I know that you brought a lot of information here, and you had about 6 or 7 amusing stories you
Oh,
wanted
yes,
to tell.
yeah.
So you'll have to come back to tell those.
I'm
those
sure I will.
stories. But with just a few minutes, is there anything you want to share to the listening audience? Something we haven't covered, or anything else?
Pretty much the best thing that I can tell the listening audience and the students alike or who are listening, if you do have a dream, everybody tells you no, and it's something that you feel that you can do, and it's just not out there in la-la land. Work hard, work at it. If you're good at it, it will come. I can't tell you when, but stay the course, and someday, hopefully, you'll break to where you say, it was all worth all this time.
That is so true. When I first started in the working world, I thought time really went slow, and then as the family started to grow, and then next thing you know, you have 10 years, and then 20 years, and then 30 years, etc. Boy, all of a sudden you're looking back, going, "Where's the time gone?"
Indeed.
And it has to do with the fact that what you said, you put all of your time and attention on what you're doing now for the future.
And it does go fast as we get a little older. I know you're 29, and that said,
3 times, let's see, 29.
Okay.
I'm close to
but
3.
it ends up being like smoke through a keyhole because it goes fast.
Yes, it does. And if you don't enjoy what
So
you're doing,
there's the whole point of everything. You have to have some enjoyment, and I do take my share of stress home, but most part, you got to let it go.
well,
'Cause
you have a
it'll
nice
really
family.
gel.
You have a nice family. Nice 3 little nice children.
We are down to our last minute. Why don't you tell our listening audience if they need your services, how they can get a hold of you? Phone number, email, website, that type of information.
Thank you, Jason. Yes, Auto Stylz. We're at 1026 Finley in Portsmouth, Ohio. Our phone number is 740-353-7807.
740
353
353
7807.
7807.
And it's autostyles.com, or excuse me, autostyles@gmail.com. As well, you can get us, our website is Auto Stylz LLC.com. Got
Well,
it, I believe.
Well, Geoff, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
I know you were very, very busy.
Not too busy for you, Pat.
Well,
That's customer service.
that's
That's what
customer
I'm
service.
saying.
Well, you made my wife happy.
Indeed, I did.
And when your wife
Remote
is happy,
start, right.
you're happy too.
Indeed.
So I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Next week we have another special guest, business lady. Please stay tuned at 2 o'clock. We have a special International Trade Assistance Center Director that's going to be coming in, being interviewed with Ryan Mapes and Mike Thompson. Again, Geoff, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Jason.
I'm Geoffrey.
Have a great afternoon.